Happy New Year's. It is January 1st, 2018. Hard to believe. And I know we're all looking forward to the year ahead. And in order to make that the best year possible, at least for me, I like to reflect on the year that was and then make new goals or a New Year's resolution for things I'd like to do a little bit differently, things that I can do better on a day-to-day basis to make myself better in the long run and to make sure that I have a better year. Hopefully, if I better myself, my channel will be better. I can make the world a better place. So without further ado, here is my 2018 New Year's resolutions. Eating healthy is so important, yet so many people in society completely neglect their nutrition. Many people don't even know how to eat healthy, and it does take some time to figure this out. For me, what I'm going to start doing, I always try to eat healthy, but I want to be better. So this year, every Sunday, I'm going to make a list of what I want to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 7 days. I'll do my grocery shopping, and this will help me organize my eating habits so I could avoid falling into bad habits. Some of the things I like to do, I always try to eat organic. I'm not perfect, but eat as organic as possible. I want to eat more fish. I want to drink as much water so I remain hydrated. My body can function at 100%, and I want to increase my fruit, vegetable, and nut intake, along with decreasing the amount of sugars I'm having. Sugar is very addicting. Obviously, diabetes, it's been linked to cancer. Avoid the bad things, eat more of the good things, and it could be very rewarding. I want to make sure I take my vitamins and my supplements once daily. The great thing about eating healthy is although it may take some time on the front end, it gives you more time in the back end. If you eat healthy, there's a greater chance that your life will be extended, that you'll live a longer, more fulfilling life, that your quality of life will be improved because you'll be healthy, because you gave your body, the one body you have, the proper fuel that you need to survive. Working out, just like eating, is another thing that if you put a little bit of time in now, it can improve your quality of life later on, and it could extend your life. Yet so many people go weeks, months where they barely move their body. And in modern society, this is compounding because so many people don't work physical jobs. So many people sit in front of a computer all day. They sit in a cubicle. They barely move. Studies have shown that sitting is the new smoking, which is why on top of working out, if you do work in a cubicle, I always recommend that once every hour, hour and a half, get up, do some jumping jacks, whatever it might be. Who cares if other people think that's weird? They might die younger because they don't move their body. It's ridiculous not to do when you know it's something that's negative for your long-term health. So one of my New Year's resolutions is to work out more, move my body at least 3 times a week. And something I did today, and I have been working out more recently, which I'm happy about, but one of the things I did today is I made this chart, if you could see it, and sorry for the coloring. And one of the things on the chart, basically, that is all 365 days of the year. And I have a check on the first day because I did work out today. And every day that I work out, I'll do a check. And my goal is to work out minimum 3 times a week. I'd like to work out 5 times a week, 7 if possible. But now I know if it's later in the week and I haven't worked out, those checks aren't filled in, it will motivate me. And if for some reason I'm not able to work out 3 times one week, well, I better make sure I make up for those the following week. And this chart, in a way, holds me accountable for working out, which on top of all the other benefits I discussed is also great for improved cognitive functioning and keeping your cognitive functioning over the long term, over the course of your entire life. Sleep. How many of us need more sleep? I know for me, I try to wake up very early in the morning so that I could film, I could do research, whatever it might be. And although that's great, I'm not the best at going to bed early. So one of my goals this year is to try to get to bed by midnight, Monday through Friday so that I'm sharper. Sleep does help cognitive functioning, and if I'm going to be at my best, I have to make it a point to get to bed earlier. I would really like to improve my socialization this year. In modern society, we all spend so much time looking at our phones, watching television, although I have cut that out and I'm very happy about it, and I barely turn on the TV ever these days. I do like to watch documentaries on Netflix, but we spend so much time looking at these screens, we don't spend enough time person-to-person socialization. So I've already set reminders on my calendar, on my weekly reminders list that I keep, to call certain people at these times, make time to speak to people, make time to set up evenings where you hang out with family and friends. These things sound simple, but we get caught up in our everyday lives. You realize you go a week, a month, 2 months without seeing people that are very important to you. This year, I want to make a greater effort to reach out to the people that are close to me, that really make a difference for me in my life. I want to show them that they are important, that they mean a great deal to me. Date my wife. I don't talk a lot about my personal life on this channel because there's a lot of angry, violent people out there, so I try to keep my family separated from what goes on the internet. But for my New Year's resolution, one of my resolutions is to date my wife. My wife is amazing, and she puts up with so much, and doing this takes up so much of my time. And it's very important, if you're out there, if you're married, don't turn your wife into a housewife. And I need to do a better job this year of showing my wife how important she is, making time to take her out to do things, just little things that make her feel special, that might not seem like a big deal to me, but can seem like a big deal to your significant other. And for girls with a husband out there, I would recommend the same thing. Always make sure you do little things to make sure your significant other knows how important they truly are to you. I know me personally, I can't function without my wife. She is my rock. She is the root of all my strength, and I need to do a better job this year showing her that. So that's a very important resolution to me. I'm calling this one Learn 365, and it's something I'm very excited about. Basically, every day when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to pick a random topic and take some time at one point in the day to learn a little bit about that topic. And if I do that for 365 days, and that could be historical, cultural, whatever it might be, it could be learning the proper way to use a compass, doesn't matter. If I do that every day, 365 days a year, and I learn one thing, I'm going to be a lot smarter come 2019. And I made a little chart. I don't know if you could see. Topic of the day. I got the first 26 weeks there. That's the first half of the year on this one sheet. Today I learned about the Iranian Revolution. I knew a little bit about it, but I took some time to learn a little bit more with the protests going on in Iran. And that's something I'm very excited about. I hope that my listeners, I know you have a natural curiosity for knowledge about the world and life in general. So if that's something you want to do, I hope that this could inspire you a little bit. I would really like to produce more media, to make more videos. And if that means making less of the longer videos, then so be it. I want to do as many investigative reports as I can because I really like to show people the primary sources so that we all know what's being said is factual. I think it's very important that we always cite our sources, and that when you hear new information, you hear it from me. Don't take it as fact. I want you to go look it up, find out for yourself, maybe keep it in the back of your mind, and when you get the chance, doesn't have to be right away, but you do a little bit more reading, a little bit more investigation, and find out what's true and what's false. And if we all did this as a society, if we didn't outsource our thinking to authority, and we got to primary sources for ourselves, we would all understand how the world works so much better. And that's why I always say, I'm not an authority. Don't look at me as authority. I am just a medium of information, and I know in my heart I'm trying to give you accurate information, but you never know. I could be compromised, I could be wrong, whatever it might be. So you want to make sure that you are checking your sources. And if I'm not able to do as many investigative reports, or maybe I'll do as many, but what I'd like to do on the days where I can't do them is to talk about cultural. What are my cultural observations about what I'm seeing in the world? Because culture is so important. It shapes, whether you realize it or not, it shapes all of us. I did the video the other night on cultural norms and how people that eat organic are viewed as weird, when what's really weird, if you put everyone in a neutral setting where the culture didn't already exist, and someone said, I'm going to eat food with pesticides or that has been genetically modified, that would be weird, not eating food that grows from the ground, naturally from the earth. That's what we've always done as animals, as mammals, as human beings. So we are all shaped by culture, so I'd like to give my thoughts on what I'm seeing in popular culture. And I'd also like to do a lot of philosophy, which I try to do anytime I make a video, using logical thought process, analyzing the world, and modeling the how to think rather than the what to think, because the biggest problem we have in society isn't what people think, it's how people are unable to think for themselves. And finally, in 2018, I would like to be more charitable. And when I say charitable, I don't mean that in the sense of giving money. Yeah, that helps, and we should all do that to some degree as well, as best we can. But the way we change the world through charity is through effort. It's through human-to-human connection. So for me this year, I want to make it a point. I want to get to some soup kitchens. I want to talk to people on the street, maybe someone who's struggling, help uplift them. I know at one point this year I did a video, I was in Vegas, and a man was playing an instrument and collecting money, and I stopped and I spoke with him and just asked him a little bit about himself and his day, and yeah, I gave him some money. But if we could do more soup kitchens, if we could reach out to the people that are poor, people that are struggling, maybe people that are abused, whatever it may be, then we can make the world a better place. And I know so many of these charitable institutions are corrupt, and that's why giving your time is more valuable than your money. I mean, just the other day, I stopped at Food Town, and I was going in to get some food. It was 0 degrees out, and there's a 10-year-old kid selling candy, and he says, this is for my youth center, and I'm trying to use my performance here to get back in touch with my family. So I guess he was an orphan. And this youth center had this, allegedly, if it's true, had this child working in 0 degree weather, 10 years old. I mean, how much could this youth center care about these children? And I've done reports on Sandusky and his pedophile network, and we found out that it was the Philadelphia Boys Club, which I think had a lot of orphans, that they were using to procure young boys into pedophilia rings. So we see how corrupt these charitable organizations are, and we should always make it a point to put our time in rather than just give these charitable organizations our money, because who knows what these charitable organizations are up to. It's really a terrible thing. I wound up giving that kid $10. I spoke to him for a little bit, but my heart breaks for the struggles that child's probably had in his young life. All right, those are my 2018 New Year's resolutions. I really appreciate you watching. I hope that I may have inspired you in some way to make your own resolution, to take some time, reflect back on the year that was, and make some goals and, in a way, some system of measurement where you can measure if you're obtaining those goals. If I inspire one person, I change the world. I always say, wake a mind, wake the world. I really appreciate your support. Together we can make the world a better place. If you want to support me financially, go to www.patreon.com/FFRnews. As little as $1 monthly makes a big difference to me. I really appreciate it. I'm Tom Anderson, FFR News, and have a very happy and healthy 2018.